Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy and welcome back to The Last Lap. First of all, I just want to apologize for the brief lack of content. There was a bit of stuff going on. We ran into some technical difficulties and then I was on vacation for a week and I usually do all the editing and all of that kind of stuff, so apologize for that, but we are back and better than ever. We're here to recap Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600 weekend. Before we hop into it, though, I do just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button and the like button. It really does go a long way and helps the channel grow. And then you can follow us on Instagram as well at The Last Lap News. Now we're going to hop right into it, but before we do really quick, I have to always introduce my friend and co-host Matthew, joining the show with me as always. And how you doing? I know it's been a while since we've even done like a Zoom call, or well, we did do a FaceTime call while I was on vacation, but anyways, yeah. How are you doing?
Tired. It's been a long day of motorsports, Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. I wish I could have done a video of Coda, but I don't know how to edit. He knows how to do it better than I do, so I'll let him be the expert on that. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you editing in no time, and maybe you'll crank out a few videos while I'm not available to. But we'll see how it goes. Before we do start, I do want to say shout out to all of the military members, because this is, by the time you guys will be seeing this video, it will be a Memorial Day, and obviously a really important day for our country and NASCAR especially, because they do a really good job supporting our military. So shout out to all of the military members out there, whether they are serving right now or they served before, passed away while they were serving, or if they're still living right now. Thank you to you guys so much for doing what you do. It really does make it a privilege for us to be able to do NASCAR and even just do our daily lives. So thank you to everybody who runs our country and supports it. So we're going to hop into the truck race first. That was on Friday, and it was a very controversial call, or controversial no call, I guess you could say, in the truck race. I'm not sure what lap or what stage it was. Matthew watched the truck race and I didn't, but there was a really big crash, and it was all started because there was a slow truck on the track and trucks were trying to avoid it coming off of turn 4, and I believe it was Johnny Sauter. He got loose trying to avoid the truck and slammed into it and completely destroyed the right side of Johnny Sauter's truck. And NASCAR definitely should have thrown the caution there before that even happened, because it was a slow truck on the track and it couldn't get to pit road, and NASCAR left it green, and it led to that massive wreck. So NASCAR definitely not looking good this weekend for the truck race, and then also at Coda last weekend with the rain and everything like that. But yeah, NASCAR definitely needs to step it up with their calls and officiating crew during the race. But throughout the race, I didn't really watch any of it, but John Hunter Nemechek, surprisingly, wasn't up there the whole time, but he charged late and ended up winning the truck race. So yeah, the big thing I took away from that race is just NASCAR officiating in general. They definitely need to step it up, because the last 2 weeks have not been good for them. They haven't been looking too good, so NASCAR definitely needs to take a look at their officiating. But Matthew, what do you have to say about the truck race?
Well, I'm glad we didn't do a video Coda, because I would have gone off about the officiating too, but we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about Charlotte here. That was absolutely ridiculous by NASCAR. I have, like, the 14 truck has already smacked the wall, and he was so slow on the racetrack for like 10-15 seconds, and no caution came out. And next thing you know, Johnny Sauter comes out of nowhere, and the whole side of the car is shredded in half, basically. I mean, whoever was on that tower that night needs to be fired immediately, because that is absolutely ridiculous, unacceptable. I mean, both of those drivers could have gone seriously injured if they hit it the wrong way or something like that. But fortunately, those guys are okay. I mean, I'm just baffled how there was no caution immediately when that car hit the wall, and it took them that long. It kind of reminded me of 2015 at Kansas with Denny Hamlin. Spun out in the front straightaway, and they waited like 20 seconds till the caution came out, and he was already done spinning, Like when he was spinning, there was no caution for that. So, I mean, that's just really unacceptable by NASCAR, in my opinion. But, I mean, I just don't understand how anybody can defend that. I mean, the truck, is sitting in the front straightaway going like 5 miles per hour. How is that not a caution? But I hope something like that doesn't happen again, because that is just unacceptable by NASCAR in their officiating. So, but other than that, congrats to John Hunter Nemechek. We all know him dominating the Truck Series this year. And as long as he doesn't choke the championship race, he's pretty much a lock in for the championship.
Yeah, John Hunter definitely the championship favorite at this point in the Truck Series, just based on how well he's doing so far. It's good to see KBM back in the Truck Series competing as well, because I know they went through a tough stretch, so I'm sure you're very happy to see where they are right now. But
yeah.
Moving on to the Xfinity race that was on Saturday. Honestly, my favorite part about the whole thing on Saturday was the drivers only broadcast part of it. I loved that they had a bunch of different drivers, and they had Chad Knaus as well. I thought that was really cool. So they had drivers in the studio with Chad Knaus, the actual race hub studio and everything. They had drivers in the booth, and then they had some drivers doing pit reporter as well. So I thought that was really cool. They all did a really good job, and it was kind of funny as well, because there were food jokes, and the drivers were on their phones while they were off camera and all that kind of stuff. So it was fun. It was really funny to watch, and I think they all did a really good job. But hopping into the actual race itself, relatively smooth race for the most part. Ty Gibbs ended up actually spinning himself off of turn 4. I think it was in stage 2 at some point, or really early on in stage 3. And thank goodness that Charlotte finally did the AstroTurf stuff. So when Ty Gibbs spun, he did not tear up the splitter of his car with the real grass. So I think more tracks definitely need to do that in the future, because that saves a lot of race cars and lets them keep going without having to repair any damage or anything. He just spun and put 4 fresh tires on it and came right back through the field. So I think more tracks definitely need to apply that AstroTurf to the infield grass. And the Xfinity race was really exciting. The last probably 50 laps or so are really entertaining. There was Chase Briscoe was in the lead, and it was the first time he ran an Xfinity car since last year. He had a one-race deal with Stewart-Haas Racing to race this weekend at Charlotte. So I thought that was really cool to see him back in the Xfinity Series. He ended up taking the lead, and Ty Gibbs was making his way back up through the field, and with, I think it was about 15 to go or something, Gibbs was on Briscoe's tail, and Gibbs got to the left rear quarter panel of Briscoe and got him a little bit loose. Didn't touch him at all. It was all air, and Chase Briscoe spun off of turn 2, somehow saved the car. I don't know how he saved it, but that led to caution to come out, and Ty Gibbs would be in the lead, obviously. Briscoe would have to come in and pit and put tires on the car, and that led to a pretty big wreck on the following restart. I believe Noah Gragson was in it, Daniel Hemrick, Michael Annett, and quite a few drivers. There's a really big wreck in turn 1 on the restart there for the Xfinity Series, and I think there was one more caution after that, but Ty Gibbs was able to hang on and get his second win as an 18-year-old in the Xfinity Series part-time. I believe he only had one finish outside of the top 10 at this point of the season in 5 or 6 starts in the Xfinity Series. In an unsponsored car, I might add. So I don't know how this man is not sponsored yet. I know he had Monster on the car for his first win, but since Riley Herbst has it as a full-time sponsor, I don't know if they can't sponsor 2 cars, or I don't know, but I don't know how this man doesn't have a sponsor yet. He's always running well and everything, but congratulations to Ty Gibbs on winning his second race in the Xfinity Series this season. Matthew, what do you have to say about the Xfinity race?
Man, Ty Gibbs is the future right here. The future of NASCAR is Ty Gibbs. It's just incredible. 6 starts, already 2 wins, only 1 race outside the top 10. This kid is talented. And it just baffles me that he has no sponsors. in a Joe Gibbs car regardless, and his last name is Gibbs. You don't see that often. What famous last name driver and top equipment, no sponsor. I mean, that's hard. That's like unbelievable. I mean, I'm just this kid has a future, and I'm just praying that Joe Gibbs make sure this kid takes his time in this development. Don't rush him up just because he's already having a hot start. There's gonna be times when he struggles, and he's gotta learn from that. So take your time, Ty Gibbs. Do not rush the Cup. We've seen that so many times. If these kids rush into the Cup Series and they do absolutely horrible that season. So just take your time, Ty Gibbs. You got a bright future ahead. But the racing is pretty good. I think that was the best race of the weekend, in my opinion. We'll get to the Cup Series because I wasn't pleased with the race on that one, but yeah, it was pretty good racing. And Ty Gibbs, he has a big future for him in the later years.
Yeah, I am very excited to see what happens with Ty Gibbs after this season. He's doing ARCA full time, and he actually won the ARCA race on Saturday as well. So he swept Charlotte on Saturday for Xfinity and ARCA, so that was really cool. And it'll be interesting to see where he lands next year, whether it's the trucks with KBM or Xfinity with Joe Gibbs Racing. It will be very interesting for sure, but now we're going to hop into the Cup recap, which was on Sunday. Well, not Memorial Day Eve. Obviously, the biggest day in racing starts with the Indy 500. That took place earlier in the day. I watched most of that race, and it was really cool. Elio Castroneves won his 4th Indy 500, which I believe ties him for the most, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I don't watch IndyCar too much, but that was really cool to start off the day watching that. And then, obviously, the Cup race later in the evening, 600 miles. I know sometimes they call it the Indy or the Memorial Day 1100 or something, because I know a few drivers have won both races. And yeah, just a crazy day of racing, a long day. And to start it off, I just want to start it off by saying they had Jay Leno on the broadcast for a while, and that was absolutely hilarious. I loved seeing him. He was on the pre-race show as well, and he was actually in the booth for part of the race too. I'm going to leave a comment he said in the booth out of this video because it's quite immature, but it was kind of funny. But I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're going to move on to the actual racing. Stage 1, I think Ryan Blaney had a loose wheel at one point after green flag pit stop, so he had to come in and pit. But this stage, and this race in general was basically Dover 2.0 because Hendrick Motorsports just completely dominated this race. Kyle Larson would win the first stage. In the second stage, Kurt Busch had an issue, and so did Ross Chastain. I don't remember what the specific issue was, but it was a similar mechanical problem, and Kurt Busch fixed it apparently, and then came back out on track and blew an engine in stage 2. I was kind of nervous at that point because Chevy engines, related to Hendrick Motorsports, I was kind of nervous that would affect Hendrick, but thankfully it did not. Stage 2 went to Kyle Larson as well. It was basically Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and William Byron that were the top 3 for most of the day. Alex Bowman was a little bit further back, still in the top 10, but those were the main 3 Hendrick cars, with predominantly Kyle Larson dominating the race. At the halfway mark of the race after stage 2, and by the way, this is a 4-stage race because it's 600 miles, but after the second stage, all the cars came down on pit road and stopped, and it was a really cool, just kind of like honor and remember moment for all the soldiers that have fallen and everything. And like I said at the beginning of the video, NASCAR is just amazing when it comes to honoring our military and everything like that. All the cars had a service member that died serving our country on it, so I really love that part about NASCAR. And most of the cars had patriotic paint schemes, but just a phenomenal tribute by NASCAR there for our military. And after that, stage 3, let me see, Christopher Bell hit the wall in stage 3, and I don't know if he pitted. I don't think he had to pit after that.
Yeah,
and
he
then
pitted.
Ryan Newman cut a tire. What, did he have to pit or no?
Yeah.
I don't think he did. He did? Oh, okay. And then after that didn't cause a caution. and Ryan Newman cut a tire and hit the wall near the end of stage 3, and that pretty much ended the stage because they did not have time to get the field reset and continue the race to do like a 1 or 2 lap shootout. So that ended stage 3, and once again Kyle Larson won the stage, and Kyle Busch was making a charge to the front. He wasn't catching Larson, but he would get up to second or third place throughout stage 3, so he was slowly making his way up to the front, trying to break up that Hendrick train at the front of the field. And in the final stage, Truex hit the wall, and then I think he cut a tire after that, and there was no caution thrown for that, and I don't think there really needed to be. I don't think there was debris on the track or anything. And green flag pit stops once again. Everybody pitted about halfway through each stage because it was 100 laps each for all the stages, and Kyle Larson stayed out front. And lap traffic, man, oh my gosh, I want to go on a rant about lap traffic so bad, because if I had a nickel for every time the guys in the booth mentioned the 66 car, I would have a lot of nickels, because they've mentioned the 66 car so many times, and those lap cars just got in the way so many times in the third and fourth stage. There was a point where Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and William Byron were all racing for second place, and there was 2 lap cars in the way, and Kyle Busch kind of tried to use one of them as a pick to William Byron, and that almost caused a big wreck and everything. And yeah, so those lap cars, they need to, something needs to be worked out about that, because they weren't involved in any accidents or anything, and they were like 15 to 20 laps down. But anyways, throughout the fourth stage, after those green flag pit stops, Kyle Larson just checked out and won by about a 10-second lead. So Kyle Larson wins the Coca-Cola 600, makes history with Hendrick Motorsports, gets his second win of the season too. And I think Kyle Larson, he finally got that monkey off his back, because he had 3 straight second place finishes and dominated a bunch of races this year and did not win. So it was good to see Kyle Larson finally close the deal on his second win of the season. Hendrick Motorsports now takes the lead for the most wins in NASCAR history for an organization, which is really cool. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the Coca-Cola 600. Oh, also, like the Coca-Cola 600, the past few years, it's just been one driver that pretty much dominates the entire race for the most part. I know Austin Dillon snuck in a win there a few years ago, but like Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, pretty much just, and then now Kyle Larson pretty much just dominate these races, and not too entertaining. But Matthew, what are your thoughts on the Coca-Cola 600 this year?
Absolute. I'm sorry. It's just an absolute snooze fest for me. I mean, I have 2 serious issues with this race, and especially like the past few years. One is the package. I mean, I said multiple times that how much I don't like this package. I don't care how many wins my driver has with this package. I don't care how many wins Chase Elliott has with this package. I don't like the package at all. And I was really reminded today how much I hated this package. I mean, you cannot pass with this. I mean, you get to that bumper of that person or side by side of that person, your car just shuts off basically. It's like it just ran out of gas, and it ruins your whole race, and the car behind you is going 30 miles per hour faster than you. I just don't see how that's good racing for me. I much rather prefer the low downforce package at this certain race for sure. And I mean, I just hope the next gen car fixes this race. I mean, the last few years, this race has gone from an iconic, basically a big name race in the schedule to basically almost not quite, because Memorial Day weekend basically, carries how important this race is, with the soldiers and the military. But I mean, it's just They need to fix this package. I don't want to see this package on the next gen car. If I see it, we might as well just scratch all the mile and a halves out of the schedule. Put short tracks and road courses on there so I don't have to see that package at all anymore. Because this is just, I mean, I just don't see how this is good racing. If you like it, go ahead. You like it. That's your opinion. But my opinion, I just don't see it as good racing. Now, I won't say, it doesn't work at every track. I feel like Las Vegas, it worked a little bit. Or even Kansas, but most of the time, it just doesn't work, in my opinion. I just think it leads to even worse racing with this Gen 6 car. And another issue I had is definitely these lap cars. I mean, keep in mind, some of these cars have charters that they get to use and secure a spot just to be a bunch of these slow boxes on the racetrack. I just feel like NASCAR needs to make this rule that if you do poorly, if the guy who doesn't have a charter finishes better with you in points, they should be able to take away that charter and put it out there and let these teams who did better than that car bid on it. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that these 4 regular racing cars are out there every weekend with a charter. Meanwhile, Trackhouse doesn't have a charter. And JGT Doherty Racing doesn't have a charter for one of their cars. And they get to be just out there 11 laps down every race, being in the way every weekend. So they need to do something like that. Even raise the minimum speed. Because there's one car that was going like 100 miles per hour. Everybody else was going 180. I mean, it's just so stupid, in my opinion. But yeah, those are the 2 main problems I had. It's not surprising to me that Larson won this race. It's been between him and Truex, but I feel like Larson is the best driver in NASCAR right now. He should have had more than 2 wins right now, but that's just how racing goes. You gotta control your own destiny, and he didn't control his own destiny on those races. But at least he rebounded from this, and I'm just glad my driver interrupted the 1, 2, 3, 4 finish again. We didn't need that again. So at least Kyle did something right tonight. But well, yeah, it was kind of forgettable race for me, except for the of course the pre-race and half through the race with the honoring our fallen soldiers and honoring the men and women who have served this country. And it's definitely amazing weekend for that. I just wish the racing was just better. I feel like the Indy 500 today was way better than this race, because at least there was a lot of passing the last 5 laps of the first 2 cars going back and forth. So NASCAR might want to take some notes from IndyCar from that. So anyways, that's all I have to say. I feel like if I continue talking, I'm going to start ranting more about these darn lap cars really ruining these races and the package. So I'll leave this to you.
Yeah, I think the commentators in the Fox Sports booth, especially Jeff and Clint, I think they really pushed the lap cars, and hopefully NASCAR will at least take a look at it, because if this is a continuing issue and if Jeff and Clint keep pushing this issue about the lap cars, I think NASCAR has to make a change eventually. So hopefully they do, because that was just terrible.
Like, if I was in the booth with them, I would be really criticizing those lap cars. And those team owners can be salty at me and start tweeting about how we're trying our best. Well, try harder, because apparently you're not. If you're going 100 miles per hour, you're going like 50 miles per hour slower than everybody else, being 20 laps down every race.
Yeah, that's just not acceptable in NASCAR. But anyways, I'm going to go over the top 10 really quick. So it was Kyle Larson getting the win, and then second place was Chase Elliott. Third place, Kyle Busch. Fourth, William Byron. Fifth, Alex Bowman. So like you said, Kyle Busch kind of breaking up the Hendrick momentum there, but all 4 cars in the top 5, I will still gladly
You're
take
welcome,
it.
every non-Hendrick fan.
And they made history tonight too, anyways. So they already made history with the top 4 finishers. So now is a different night to make history and have them take over the all-time win list. But anyways, sixth place went to Austin Dillon. Denny Hamlin 7th. The 17 car, Chris Buescher, another top 10 for that team. Really good run for him. Tyler Reddick finished in 9th, and Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 10. I'm going to give my rating of the race really quick, and then I'll let Matthew kind of give his rating as well. For me, I think I'm going to give this race, I'll give it, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. As, you know, I'm not throwing any bias into this at all as a Hendrick Motorsports fan. Like, I'm happy Kyle Larson won and all 4 cars finished in the top 5 and everything and all that, but the racing just wasn't that good. There's only 1 caution for incident tonight, and there wasn't that much passing. Hendrick Motorsports kind of dominated, and I mean, it was interesting to see Kyle Busch up there and try to make some moves and try to dice it up a little bit. But yeah, the racing just not the best, and the Coca-Cola 600 in general just hasn't been a great race the past few years. So like you said, hopefully the next gen car can improve that and the package as well. But for me, I'm going to give this race a 4 out of 10. What about you? What are you going to rate it?
I'm giving it a 4 out of 10 as well. I could bash it even harder, but I'm not, because I mean, my favorite part about this race was, like I said, you know, honoring the fallen soldiers, honoring our military, our men and women serving this country. And NASCAR just handles it so much better than any other sport. I mean, there's a couple other sports that do absolutely a horrible job with that, but we're not going to get to that. But NASCAR just does, you know, they really do this so much better. I mean, it's just amazing to see how, you know, they really care about our military, our men and women who have given their lives, who are serving today, sacrificing their life to protect our country. And having all 40 drivers, or how many drivers there were in the field, having their names on the windshield is just amazing to see. So that's why I'm not going to bash this race too low. I would lower it if it was another race, but I'm not. But other than that, though, the racing was still really forgettable for me. Besides the, you know, the main reason why we love this race. I can't believe NASCAR really thinks this package is amazing for them. They really looked at this package as like, that's really good racing. We need to put this on this car. That is such amazing racing. They may need some glasses, because they need to change that package immediately. I mean, they need to fix that. They need to fix this race. I'm hoping the next gen car does. I really hope so, because we love to see the racing like it was back in the day. Or I don't want to sound like an old boomer or something like that. Or like a few years ago, I'll say that, when it was mostly about fuel mileage, and it came down to who, you know, had the most gas. Like 2011, Dale Jr. ran out of gas, and Harvick won. Casey Mears in 2007 winning. Okay, I'll say 2017, Austin Dillon did that too, but he was running the much better horsepower package. But other than that, 4 out of 10.
Yeah, thankfully we don't have too many more races with this 550 package, so that's a good sign. Next week we're going to be at Sonoma, another road course out west in California. That'll be interesting because they didn't race there last year. But before we wrap up, I do need to update our fantasy standings, and I got absolutely whooped this weekend. I got absolutely destroyed. Matthew over there swept the weekend. He got every single pick right. Truck, Xfinity, and his main cup pick won. So absolutely destroyed me this weekend. He got 5 extra points. I thought I was closing back in on him a little bit after Coda because I gained 2 points on him, but he just absolutely destroyed me this weekend. So now he's at 16, and I'm at 8. So, yeah, what were you going to say?
I was like the Milwaukee Bucks, clean sweep.
Yeah, that was not the best weekend for me. I picked Truex, and I thought he would do well, but he just didn't run well. Didn't even finish in the top 10. But props to you for sweeping the weekend and going up 16-8 in the points now. It was a 3-point lead. Now it's 8. So, but yeah, hopefully I can get a few points back on you this weekend. Hopefully, but that's gonna go ahead. Or do you have any closing thoughts before I wrap it up, or are you good? I think we've ranted enough about this package and lap cars.
Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm ready to sleep.
Alright, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, I apologize for the lack of content for the past week or two, but we're back and better than ever. I think we finally figured out some of our technology issues, so be on the lookout for more videos coming out. We'll preview Sonoma coming out this Friday, but until then, we will see you guys in the next episode.